Hey, yo. E-King's Fight News. Deontay Wilder says he was drugged? Did Deontay Wilder just say he was drugged? And he felt like he wasn't even in the ring. He felt like he wasn't there. He felt like he was a zombie when he was in the ring with Tyson Fury. Well, hey, it's E-King Fight News. And you know we got more on this. Alright. So back in the building. Man, salute to everybody. Stay tuning in, man. Appreciate everybody. Man, shout out to all my subscribers, man. Much love. Alright, so Deontay Wilder is now coming out and saying, you know what? I wasn't even in the ring. He's basically saying he couldn't feel what was going on, but he wasn't himself. Something wasn't right. He felt like a zombie in there. He was in retreat mode from the first round. Right? So he's basically giving you every sign of trying to say I was drugged, but he's not saying he was drugged. You know what I mean? He's trying to say every other thing, every other symptom of being drugged, but he ain't coming out and saying, you know what, you know, he obviously doesn't know for sure, right? If you were drugged, you know, it's after all them side effects you find out, okay, something ain't right. Something is not right. And maybe that's why he was silent for so long, but you know what? As much as boxing is a very dirty game, as much as you can't put it past anybody to try and contaminate your shit, you know, we're talking about the heavyweight champion of the world fighting in Las Vegas. And you know what? I did see some headlines where Deontay Wilder acknowledges there were some snakes in his camp. You know, didn't name any names. But this goes back to what I was saying before about Deontay Wilder need to clean house. He needs to get rid of them yes men. Get rid of these guys in the camp that really ain't doing anything to improve his career. He's got one trainer in Mark Breland that is an A-class guy. He's been champion. He's been to the top, and he can show him all the aspects of boxing he would need to know, but he ain't really utilizing them correctly, right? Wilder's also acknowledged he's going to bring in one or two guys as counselors, as, you know, intermediates, as a second set of eyes. You know, he may bring in a new trainer, but he's going to mix up his camp a little bit, which is good. But if you ask me, Deontay Wilder needs to stop. He needs to stop reflecting on it. He's still out here reflecting on the loss. Now I get he's got a whole lot of time on his hands, but he should really be trying to prepare whatever it is, film study, whether it's, you know, working on the fundamentals, getting his jab right, you know, getting his jab straight, getting some road work in, staying in shape is what he should be doing. And he really shouldn't be trying to, he should have already accepted the loss and gone past it. This tells me he hasn't really accepted the loss. He hasn't. It's still in the back of his head, and that only confirms the fact that maybe his confidence isn't what it used to be. Because he's still thinking, man, I was so off that night, and he can't figure out why. Whereas maybe another fighter that was mentally strong would have said, you know what? I accept the defeat. I accept Tyson Fury beat me. So how am I going to go back and take his head off? How am I going to make sure I land the right hand this time? You know, he shouldn't even be thinking about the first fight or the second fight. He shouldn't be thinking about that loss. He should have accepted it and erased it. You got to erase that shit from your memory. You got to act like that shit never happened. You really do. You got to act like it never happened, but at the same time, you have to know that in order to ensure it never happens, you gotta come, you know, just as correct as you've ever have been. You gotta make sure you cross all them T's, dot all them I's, make sure you got everything straight. Because if you don't, you're gonna take that L once again. And you're gonna have to basically cash out your career. Because you're gonna go back to fighting nobodies. You're gonna go back to fighting, you know, bottom of the barrel, you know, middle of the top 10, and people ain't going. You're gonna lose respect in this boxing world. You're gonna lose that respect. Now, he can always come back and look impressive. He can always come back, knock out Luis Ortiz for the 5th time. He can always come back, you know, knock out Adam Kowanowski, knock out Andy Ruiz if he wants to. Everybody gonna give him a pat on the back, but no one gonna call you champion. You can call him former champion, you can't call him champion, right? So when it comes to Wilder in this spot, I wouldn't be trying to talk too much except for what he's gonna be doing with his team. You know, he's got to make some corrections, and I don't know if he has. Right? Dwelling on how much of a zombie he was in the ring, there's no value in that. There's no value. It only fuels conspiracy. It only fuels things that you're not sure of, right? Point blank and period. And what he should be doing is trying. If he really believes he got drugged, he's got to go and maybe do his own personal drug test. You know? Maybe you gotta get tested if you think you got drugged. Maybe. See if there's anything peculiar in your body. Right? Because all signs are pointing to somebody drugged me. Well, what the fuck really happened? You know? But if he's just gonna keep it like, yo, you know what? I felt so tired and exhausted, and you know, the suit, and you know, I don't know what happened, but I just wasn't right on that night. You know, that's not really what we do when we have the biggest moment of our life. When you have to be a peak athlete, peak performer, that's not really what we do after the fact. It's not what you do, man. That's not what you do. You know, I get he's explaining himself, but nothing really needs to be said. For a lot of people, their favorite fighter took a devastating loss. Right? Even Wilder, one of my favorite he's a great heavyweight fighter, no question about it. Did I have him as a pound for pound? Absolutely not. Did I have him as a future Hall of Famer? I'm sorry, guys. He hasn't done enough to say he's a future Hall of Famer. Right? Records are just records. You know? Floyd Mayweather, you know, that 50-0 has nothing to do with heavyweights. It has nothing to do with anything. You know, Deontay Wilder wouldn't be breaking a Floyd Mayweather record. He would be trying to break a Rocky Marciano record. A Rocky Marciano record that was also padded with a lot of guys that nobody really knew, or, you know, hard to say. how good Marciano really was. You know, is he one of the greatest heavyweights in the world? A lot of people speculate that. You know, he's not really on anyone's top 5 dead or alive. But what I do know is Wilder's career isn't over unless he wants it to be over. Right? If he's not there mentally, his career is over. It's already over. It's a wrap. But if he's serious about coming back, if he's serious about beating Tyson Fury, which I believe he is, then he needs to know that it ain't about what happened in the rematch. It's about what you're gonna do going forward. Point blank and period. That's what it's about. Let me know what you guys think. Itzy King Fight News. Smash the like button. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. And you know what it is, man. We don't sugarcoat nothing over here, man. If Deontay Wilder thinks he was drugged, just say you were fucking drugged. Just say it. Ain't nothing wrong with just saying it. But it is what it is. Smash the like button, and we out.